Okay, I was just shuffling the deck, shuffling Waterfall Tarot, and the Hierophant came out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the imagery. I'm actually going to look at the card and have a look and see what I actually see. So I see this person who seems to be like clergy in the church, you know, in some way, a pope or something of that sort of nature in some way, right? The Hierophant is someone who's sort of high up in the church. He has some students or some monks below him. There's a set of keys there. Okay, he's holding something in his hand like a spectra. Okay, a scepter, sorry. It's not a spectra. It's a ghost thing. I mean a scepter. Scepter, yeah. So he's holding like a staff, you know, like something in his hand. So we're having a look here. So he's between two pillars. Okay, so he's trying to find a sense of balance. So maybe there's a balance within his own spirituality. Maybe there's a conflict within his spirituality, and he's trying to find a sense of balance in his own faith, his own beliefs. The key to maybe his spirituality or his beliefs, his faith, may come from listening to others, or maybe teaching others. So maybe he's a teacher or a mentor. Maybe this talks about a learning. Now, a church is like an institute in some way. It could be an educational institute in some way. So those are the things that are sort of going through my mind as I'm looking at this card. I'm looking and I'm seeing these different things and sort of coming up with a bit of a story. Now let's have a look and see what TO says, what TarotOracle says about the Hierophant. So we're going to go in and have a look at the Hierophant. So you can have a look and see what he says without getting into too much detail. I don't want to get bogged down by too much information at this stage. It's just having a little bit of a look-see. You're not looking at combos, we're just looking at this card on its own. So we're just looking at the Hierophant. Yep. Power, religion, institutions such as school or business. Okay, those are the thoughts that I had in my head. So yeah, that makes sense. So let's have a look and see what he actually says. The Pope Hierophant has far too many meanings for meanings for any one card. One translation is that the Pope throughout history had the power to appoint the emperor. Therefore, I think it's supposed to be meanings, not meetings. Meanings for any one card. One translation is that the Pope throughout history had the power to appoint the emperor. Therefore, he is the ultimate authority of all tarot cards and has override ability to other senior leadership. So yeah, a senior leader. That's what I've sort of mentioned, isn't I? So this could mean, when combined with the emperor, you have that power struggle that will encompass a reading. Or you could have a very high authority, like the government or the court, that makes sense. I'm just talking about this card on its own. So it's still re-event, although often used. It's an empowerment card in very yes, but to a limited degree. One of the de facto meanings of this card is obviously of a religious tint. This could be a religious ceremony, a spiritual journey, or even a marriage that has been planned. But of course, it could mean, depending on what other cards are around, and if you were wanting to know a little bit more about what this card could mean. Anything dealing with God is encompassed within the card's meaning. Now that could be an odd translation if you don't really have any other religious aspects. That's why I talk about spirituality, because not everybody is of the God or nature. But that's okay, universal deity or whatever. So it just talks about sort of a higher spirituality. Religion aspect, or it does not fit at all with the clearance question. For example, I'm asking about losing a job, and the Hierophant appears. Would I lean towards a big organisation or a company, which makes the most sense, or go with the religious preference? Obviously, the rhetorical question, however, the translation needs to fit in. So you've got to keep in context with your question, okay? this to me is very much about my spirituality. I'm not asking about college, I'm not asking about an institution in any way, or a work-related combination. I'm not asking about work, or I'm not asking about study, I'm not asking about friends, just asking about my own self. And so this would be to me about my own spirituality, my own faith. Okay, so it does talk a little bit more about getting serious in love and all that sort of stuff. We could talk about relationship. It does talk about combos, so depending on what cards come up next, we could go into a little bit more. So yeah, I think overall, just looking at this card and understanding it, going through and having a look at what the card means to me in an initial thought, and then having a look at what he says. Now, don't memorize, okay? You're just sort of getting a little bit of a, this is just a starting point, just to sort of get a bit of an idea of what the card could come to me. You're going to re-look at it again, re-look at it again, and re-look at it again. You're going to go over this many times, depending on what combinations you have and what it could actually mean. So it is going to give you a little bit more information when you look at some of these other cards, and when you start exploring things a little bit more, it's going to give you a little bit more information, etc. So just starting off, we're looking at the Hierophant as being maybe spirituality. Maybe I'm going to be learning or teaching more. Could be about me teaching. Maybe the key to me moving ahead is actually sharing my knowledge that I actually have, which is what I'm doing. So that could be, this thing could be about me teaching or mentoring this, you know, coming up. So I could ask, can you please tell me a little bit more about the Hierophant? Whoa. So I got the Three of Wands straight away. So let's have a look and see what the Three of Wands says, what Tarot Oracle. For me, Three of Wands is looking ahead at the goals or where I need to be, maybe walked away from something. So you're talking about your spirituality, right? You're talking about your faith, belief, maybe teaching. And so it's giving you a chance to reflect or contemplate on what lies ahead. Maybe reflect on the, you are reflecting on what actually lies ahead because you're moving forward in time. So let's have a look at Three of Cups. Three of Wands, should I say? Sorry. Three of Wands. You start to know the book a bit more too, the more you use it. So Three of Wands, let's have a look. You're looking for something. Searching and seeking, and what's the shining object? So the Three is more of a searching card. So you're looking out for something. So I thought about, okay, so you're looking for the big adventure. Okay, so maybe with your own spirituality, my own spirituality or my own teaching, I'm looking for something new. I'm looking for a new adventure. Okay, so it does talk about, if you're talking about a love relationship, it does talk about work readings. Yes, you're clearly searching for another job. Okay. But then again, aren't we all? But the cards really shine in that regard. Shows you are fairly committed to hunting it down and getting into the superior role. Many times we're stuck in the same task as well at work, for example, doing crappy SharePoint work for other people and need to break out. So this could also show a readiness for new tasks or new adventure within the same company. So it could be about maybe branching out with your own spirituality. So it just gives you that little bit more thought when you read through someone else's thoughts, just slowly, and you're looking at the card at the same time. So you're getting the picture of what it's about. Remember, we know the Hierophant is about our own spirituality, our own learning, our mentoring, our teaching, and here we get the sense of sort of branching out. We're trying to reach for new goals, new desires, a new sense of creativity within the situation. So that's interesting to sort of keep going. So that's what you can do, is just pull a card first, have a look at it, then pull another card about what does it mean. And then, and then pull a third card to give you a little bit more information about the story. What am I reaching towards? What am I looking for? Well, here we've got the Four of Swords, and that to me is definitely about taking time out. So am I looking for something that's going to give me time out in a situation? So let's have a look at Four of Swords. Now, I could do a reading with that quite easily, not worried, but I'm just sort of sharing my method for when I just want to sort of, I'm just reading for myself and I just want to get a little bit more information, look at another person's perspective, look at things that are a bit different. So I want to get into Four of Swords. Four of Swords, let's have a look. So, does his combos include any of these other cards? No. It tells you windows. Oh, another big meaning for windows is long distance. We're talking about relationships. Okay, so that's interesting. But we don't have many windows, we've only just got this one here. So windows is not really a thing, it just sort of caught my eye. Okay, it does talk about resting, delays, planning for the future. The Four of traditionally a sleeping or resting card. Also focusing on planning and strategy. So in his readings he was hinted at a delay when seeing the card similar to the mountain in Leningrad. Things are slowing down. So it could be in regards to my teaching, actually could be slowing, even though I'm looking for more, it could be a delay in what I actually want to achieve. So that's interesting. So it could be a time for me maybe to step back from the teaching as well. Maybe I'll find that I might sort of take a step back from my own spirituality, my own beliefs. Maybe there's a sort of a shift in my own beliefs. So this is going to give me a little bit of thinking about. Okay, so he just goes through and he asks you some questions. Will this cause anything else to run late? Will I be able to make up the time delay after it's released? What restrictions caused this? Where else will the slowdown manifest itself? So I think it comes from that searching, that seeking out is actually going to slow the process down in some way. So that's interesting. So it just gives you a little bit of thought. Remember, this is just a little bit of exercise to work through the cards, to learn them, to understand them, and sort of get a bigger picture on how they combine, how it sort of works together. So if you're using this as sort of a delay card and you're looking at the spirituality or the faith, the teaching, the mentoring, maybe going to a course, maybe you're searching for something in regards to a course, and there's a delay in that process. There could be a delay in regards to doing the course in some way, or reaching the desired outcome that you want. So just some thoughts. Don't forget to check the link below, check the links on my channel, like, subscribe and ring the bell if you want more of this type of video. Let me know. That's it from me. Take care and listen. Be.